Hello everyone and happy Thrifty Thursday. I have another Goodwill haul for you, and some of this is from the Goodwill, some of this is from garage sales or from other thrift stores like Savers. So I wanted to share with you some of the things I found, and I'm going to go ahead and move from one side to the other. Now the first thing I found is kind of heavy. This is, it's for a box of matches. And so what you would do is you would slightly open the box of matches and set it down inside of here. And then you would be able to just pull out a few matches at a time when you're lighting a fire. It's a very heavy wrought iron piece. If you were to put this on your wall, you would need to use like drywall anchors or drill it directly into, say, like a wooden cabinet or into a wooden mantelpiece, or perhaps like right into the stud of a wall. But I thought this piece was really interesting because I do living history, and I like to focus on like the hearth and home type stuff. I thought this was a very interesting piece, so I thought maybe we could hang this up on near our fireplace and have it out for the holidays. Because we usually don't use our fireplace too often. We live in California, so we don't run the fire too often, but we do like to have it for, you know, the holidays, for Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that. And then moving on to another piece that I think I'm going to keep. I found this really neat picture frame, and it has all of these little inlaid, they're just like little stained wood pieces. You see that? It's like kind of like a little mosaic. It kind of reminded me of like mission style design, and I liked that. I'm sure it's not very old. I'm sure it came from like maybe a Walmart or something, but it just has a little plastic piece here, and it has a little easel. But I thought that's cute to display some of the kids' school pictures or pictures from different activities that they do. All right, and then the next piece I have is this pottery piece. And it's in these really beautiful colors. It's got teal and purples and browns and maybe a little bit of maroon, like a wine color. And what this actually is you see all these little divots here in it. This is a garlic grinder. So when you get your clove of garlic, you chop off the ends and you peel off all the little papers, the little, what is it, like the membrane or the wrapper or whatever. And then you just run it over these little ridges and it grinds up the garlic for you, and then you can add it to whatever dish you're making, or you can pour olive oil directly into this and dip bread and things. You can shake whatever seasonings you want, and it makes a nice little dip tray. Or like I said, you can use it to add garlic to recipes. And then this is a hand done piece. It's signed. I can't read that signature, but I'm sure the artist knows who they are. Maybe a Lane or an Ian, I'm not sure. And I think it's gonna look backwards to you because I have my phone facing forward, so I can do the the recording this way. And the next piece I have is a Falstaff sugar bowl. And this is similar to the style I collect. I collect the folk art, but I collect it in blue, and this one's in brown. So I think I'll go ahead and put this one up. Let me see. There we go. I have to check the date and see if it's old enough to put up on my Etsy page. If it's old enough, then I will. There is a little bit of crazing to it, but I kind of like the crazing. I think it gives the piece character, and it really adds some interest to it. But there's no cracking. Like, there's like no cracks that run through the complete piece. It's all just crazing of the glaze. So I thought that was a nice piece. Because you don't have to use it for a sugar bowl. You could use it for anything else. You can use it anywhere in your house, really, because it's a nice size piece. You could put little candies in there, or you could use it you know, to store garlic in or other things. I thought that was a nice piece. And then this next piece is a Mikasa. And I thought this was so interesting. The reason I picked it up was because of the lid. The handle it has, it's these two little indentions here. And I thought that was really neat. And then when I flipped it over, I realized it was Mikasa. And the store that we had in our area has closed down now. We no longer have a Mikasa store. So it's kind of harder to find in our area right now. But I thought that was a nice piece. This is the Potter's Art Mikasa. And then the next thing I found is, this is modern. This is a pepper pot by Hearth and Hand by the Magnolia, you know, like, what is her name? Joanne Gaines. But I thought this was interesting. It says pepper, and it has a smooth little lid. It's kind of like a minimalistic design. It doesn't have a lot going on. It's just, if you like the Ray Dunn look, this, you know, you might be attracted to this, where it's got the, just kind of like the very simple writing, and it's got a little hair sticking on it, but there, that's the Hearth and Hand. And again, I think it's going to be backwards, just because I have the camera front facing, so I can kind of make sure things are in frame. And then the next thing I have is an older piece. This is a old perfume bottle from Avon, and the head comes off, and it's a perfume bottle. I seem to remember like my grandparents having some of these old Avon bottles, but this one's a pheasant, and it's really detailed. It's got the little feet, and it's got grass that it's standing on, and it has all of the feathers, and then it has this really pretty green head with the ruby eye. And this is glass, but the cap is in plastic. And then it does have the Avon sticker underneath. Let me see if I can spot a year on this. I don't think it has a year. But this is the Avon Pheasant Decanter with the Avon Leather Aftershave. And the next piece I have is old. This one was kind of, I walked by it and I stopped and I looked at it, and I thought it was so interesting. It's an old nursery rhyme book, and it has this, it looks like it could be like maybe Aladdin or Lawrence of Arabia or something, you know, some kind of Middle Eastern story there. It's got a guy in rags, and he's dropped a basket of goods. So maybe that's maybe Aladdin and the 40 Thieves or something like that. And then here's the inside. There's some pencil markings and inscriptions. And in old books, you know, you sometimes see that. 5/3 littles or lettle, and 720 a day, maybe, I don't know what the inscription could possibly mean. Okay, so I think the front is Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp, because on the first page I turned to here, it has the title page, Aladdin or the Wonderful Lamp. And these pages are super delicate, and they've got some really nice coloring to them. They've got, they're really orange around the edges, and the pictures are really interesting. They're just like line drawings. I wish I could find here that when the book was printed, but it doesn't say it at all. Here's the page. It's by Charles E. Graham and Co. in Newark, New Jersey, which is where my dad grew up, and then New York, New York. So again, sorry that's backwards. Nursery Stories, a collection of famous stories for children. it's illustrated, but it doesn't say who it's illustrated by. And then there's no other information. It just says CEG made in USA. And then something interesting in the back of the book, I noticed that the back cover actually folds out. Give me just a second here. It actually folds out, and it has more pages. Like, it has, it looks like the Three Little Pigs and Mother Goose, but when you fold it back in, the back of the book is just plain. And I folded it out thinking that maybe it encircled the book, but it does not. And I'm wondering if the front cover also did that, but it's been torn off over time. So this is a really interesting piece. I paid $2.99 for it, and I usually don't like to spend that much on books, but since this was such an old book, I thought it was probably worth it. I don't think we're gonna hang on to it because we have so many books. My mother was a librarian, a children's librarian, so we just have tons and tons of books. But I thought I would go ahead and throw this up on my Etsy page in case anybody was interested. I think it's a unique piece. It's really fun. I'll have to research it some more and try and find out some more information on it. But I just don't like seeing these old books get thrown out or anything. I'm sure they held a lot of memories for whoever first had it. Okay, and the next thing I found was at a garage sale, and I thought it was so cool, especially for the Halloween season. So it's a little bit heavy. It's this completely solid glass or crystal ball. And it came with its own little stand. But it's flat here on the side, and then it's perfectly smooth and round crystal ball. And I thought that would be really neat to set out with all of my Harry Potter stuff. The only thing the guy said was, be careful, don't put it near a window because it can start a fire. And that's true. Because it's round, if the sun shines through it, it's like a magnifying glass. Have you ever done that with magnifying glasses? It can cause a fire. So this would be something that I would probably just have out on display. And then, I don't know. Not sure if it's good to have it out on display if there's a chance that it could cause a fire, because most of the places I'm thinking I would display it would be like on my end tables near the windows. So I don't know, maybe it'll end up on my Etsy shop. If this is something you're really interested in, let me know. It would come. There is a little bit of damage to the stand, but I'm not really worried about that. It looks like there could have just been like a knot in the wood or something when they were carving it, and that's from that. I think old things like this having a few nicks and bumps is what gives it its character. And then next up, I have this At Home America. I guess that's a company, At Home America, and this is the Tuscany style. And this has got kind of like, it goes from like a bluish purple up to a red and ends in like an orange. And it has a lid. And the lid is, oh, my finger got stuck. It's flat on the top, and then it's got just like a slight dome to it. I thought this was really pretty, especially for, you know, like the fall season with all of the oranges and purples. And then a while later, I went back, and like these were like completely different days that I went. It was probably like a week or two in between. And then I found this large oval platter, and it's from the same company. It's from At Home, and it's the Tuscany style. And so this one, it's a little bit more lavendery, but it's the same thing. It does have the purple and the blues and the oranges all coming out. I think these are really nice pieces. I probably would not sell them together because like a sugar bowl and a platter don't really go together. I'd sell them separately. But I think that they're both neat. I need to check the dates on these. I don't think that At Home America still has these pieces. It's probably been a while because I was trying to look them up and I can't find anything that's for At Home America that has the Tuscany style on it. So I'm thinking this is probably from the 90s when Tuscany style was more popular. And then I was at a garage sale and I found this. And I think this is the Corel design. Isn't this the Corel design that has the blue flowers? But this is a coffee percolator. And it's in pretty good, Corningware. Yeah, so it's a 9-cup percolator. And it's got all the pieces, I think. So it's got the lid. And it's clean, like there's no yellowing to the plastic. It's still in pretty good condition. It's got the base and the basket. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be another, like a lid that goes to this, but this fits down snugly. So if you look right here, I don't think there's a way for any of the coffee grounds to escape. I think that this is a complete set, just as it is. It's a little bit dusty inside. I need to wipe it out, but around the edges, there's no, I mean, besides just needing a good wipe down, there's no nicks or imperfections. On the bottom, there's a couple of scuffs, and I don't know if I can get those out just by washing it, or if they're just going to be a couple of scuffs. But I think that's to be expected. If this was used on the stove regularly, then I think that a couple of nicks just around the base is acceptable. But like I said, it's in really good condition, considering that it's got a little bit of age on it. So I don't know. Let me know what your favorite item is and what you think was my best find. Out of all of these things, I think I'm going to say that the crystal ball was my favorite find, just because I've never seen one before and it's so heavy. And I think, like, you know, seeing it on TV and movies and stuff all the time as a kid, I think that, you know, I never thought that I'd actually hold one. And I think that would be really cool. I think my kids would get a kick out of this for Halloween, especially to get out when we're reading Harry Potter and he goes to divination class and stuff. But let me know what your favorite thing was, and I'm going to be trying to put these up on my Etsy shop. Some of the things obviously can't go up because they're too modern, like this, for instance. But some of the things can go on my Etsy shop. I'm thinking about opening up an eBay store, but I haven't done that yet. So if there's something you see that you are interested in, let me know, and I'll try and get that up first, because it takes me a while to get things listed. All right, well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite find was. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.